And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL, of course, broadcast here in English on Twitch TV. My name is Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and you can see on your screen the breakdown of game number 1 and who better picked for the MVP than Wayless, the mid laner for LGD. 3-0-10, but with almost 500 gold per minute, that guy was making bank, and he put it to use, helping the rest of his team win game number 1 and keep their playoff hopes alive.
Oh yeah, and it's not a secret that he's going for this Orianna, just counting on farm, just going for the spirit of the Spectral Wraith. So what do EDG do now? Do they ban this Orianna? Do they want to pick it themselves? Well, Wayless, you cannot really stop him. He's just going to go for Zed. For I don't think that LeBlanc anymore, but he has a lot of champions up his sleeve.
All right, now coming in back to the casters, they predicted 2-0s. For LGD versus Edward Gaming, and I think they knew what they had in store. Big performance from Wayless, and I almost want to say don't ban the Orianna versus him, just put some pressure on mid. That game number 1 had 0 pressure mid, and Wayless just took advantage of it, farmed his Storm up, and put that gold to use, like I said earlier. So, coming into game number 2, other than Wayless, I don't think EDG's team comp looked very bad. They had decent champion picks, and they were able to turn around a couple fights. They just lost it out when it comes to the AoE team fighting. 100% kill participation for Wayless's Orianna. Very impressive to see the team fight stick together, winning LGD game number 1.
Yeah, and actually the game wasn't perfect from any of the teams, because I still have this early game in my mind when LGD could have easily taken the first dragon of the game, but they just gave it away to EDG. They could have easily ended this game a lot earlier if they didn't make the early mistakes.
Yeah,
so
they gave 2 early dragons away to LGD, but I think that was mostly just recognizing, hey guys, we're playing for these 2 power spikes to win us the game, and they weren't willing to throw the game away by fighting when they weren't willing, when they weren't in position to. So sometimes it's not about having a perfect game, but it's about executing your game plan and making it count when you have to, and they definitely did that.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I think that you needs to step up his play. He had a very good champion, but he didn't really execute it too well. Wasn't roaming around. Why do you not roam when you're playing a Kassadin?
Well, the timings were just completely different. For LGD, they wanted to hit these 2 big timings off of item power spikes from 17 and from Wayless, particularly Wayless. And every time Wayless would complete a new item, it'd be way far ahead of, oh, no pun intended there, of you. And it just makes sense. You have more items, you deal more damage, you win more fights, and that's exactly what LGD did. And they really caught you out of position because he is playing a mid to late game champion on Kassadin, who, like you said, wants to roam, but LGD were together all the time. Really not a lot of roam opportunities there.
Oh yeah, and well, if EDG want to switch up the bans phase right now, I think that they can let LGD pick up some champions that they don't really want to give them away. Like Maokai, who do you leave open if you want to ban this Orianna, for example? That is really scary for EDG at the moment.
And if you don't ban his Orianna, he's just going to pick another farm champion. He'll grab Ziggs in the mid lane, or...
Oh yeah.
I don't know, who's another good farm champion mid? It used to be stuff like
Karthus.
Oh my gosh.
Go for the Frogan Karthus if you want to get a world record in CS. If you're a Wayless, just go for the Karthus.
The Spirit of the Spectral Wraith Karthus mid, man, that would be impressive to watch, especially since it would both test his ability to farm, put pressure out on the map with his ultimate, and keep his own turret alive. That takes a lot of complicated lane mechanics to make work, and well, Wayless had it down pat in game number 1. So coming into picks and bans here for game number 2 up here in just a second. Can't expect that we'll see too much different from around the map, but should center a lot of picks around jungle and mid lane to try to make something work better for EDG.
Alright, so we're still waiting to get into the picks and bans, and actually it's quite okay. They're figuring out all the issues right now. We won't have pauses in the next game, hopefully. Because these kind of stopped the game at some point.
Traditionally, at least before Edward Gaming like they used to rely on Koro. Like Koro would be kind of hit or miss sometimes. He would start off strong, but then maybe have some decision making errors. But especially versus 17, maybe not necessarily in lane, but in team fights, Koro can have more of a presence, and so you can look for 17 to come back with that. But really, it was all team fighting all the time for EDG or for LGD, and 17 looked fine. So coming in here to champion picks and bans for game number 2, LGD. They win this game. Their playoff hopes are very, very likely. And if they lose, then, well, it's all but over for them. I think they still have a shot at making it, but it would be very, very long shots. So definitely looking to win this and make their way down the home stretch. Bans coming out will include 17's Kale. So a lot of respect there from Edward Gaming. Not going to let him have it this time around.
Yeah, and actually talking about Koro, he was doing really well in the team fights, but still, LGD was just stronger. They got a lot more farm early on. They got a little bit of kills, a little bit of towers, and that was it. So yeah, they go for the Kale ban right here. Wow. Yeah, gotta be really careful. Like, Chuan can go for his Lee Sin.
And big bans on the top laners as well, as both Maokai and Alistar have been banned away. This should send 17 onto something maybe like a Jax, but we'll see what they decide to pick up. And you can't forget about PYL. He set his MVP performance on LGD last week with a Thresh game, and he'll grab it away for himself quite literally here again. So a lot of emphasis on that bottom lane, and you really have to. Congratulations, like, you have to give some props to XQ, because he was laning against Name and FCCF, or kind of going up against them in the head-to-head, and he put up some great numbers. He went positive, he had CS that was comparable to Name, and he just hung in there, and came in when it counts as far as team fights were concerned. Name really just didn't. His Lucian was ineffective, started to damage tanks there at the end, but really was never able to get it. And with no change to the mid lane, Wayless just grabs his Orianna again.
And Xuan grabs this Jarvan again. Okay, so LGD, with a Thresh in the bottom lane, it still is going to be really strong for them because they have PYL on a very comfortable champion. You have Wayless on a very comfortable champion. And EDG, they need to just step up their play. Instead of changing the picks and bans, they need to step up. They need to be the ones to get the early pressure.
And now maybe you will take a page out of Wayless's book and say, look, man, you want to farm up against me? I am going to farm it up against you. As, well, you. So he'll be thinking about the Ziggs here. And if he locks in Ziggs, we could have an 85-minute game on our hands. Orianna versus Ziggs, AFK farming for 50 minutes. So I don't expect that's the case, but it should actually be the Ziggs locked in and a Janna for Name, or for FCZF, Name locking it in, of course. Interesting support choice nonetheless, and primarily to counter out this Jarvan engage. You try to push Jarvan all the way out of there, maybe push Thresh out of there, and keep your team safe and sound from getting engaged on. But maybe a last pick Kassadin here. Wait, that'd be 17 on Kassadin. He's actually played that champion and won. Having that this time around.
I'm not a fan of top lane Kassadin, but if they grab it, they're gonna have a very strong lineup right here.
I mean,
but
you
on
can't
the other
argue
hand,
with results. I mean, 17 has made it work before.
Definitely. As I am not a great fan of Lucian in the middle lane, but still, a lot of people make it happen, and they win games with it.
Miracles happen when you believe, Nero. You just have to believe. So, last pick here for Koro 1. Looking like an Aurelia. Could be something along the lines of like a Shyvana. But once again, you have to be able to put on pressure against Kassadin. Because, oh, it's a Jax, and he switches it up at the last second. Koro 1's Jax. Alright, Koro's Jax is really, really good. But Jax having felt a little bit of the nerf bat over the last patch, nerfing down his scaling health and his, I believe, starting health as well. Not as strong early on as he used to be. And maybe that'll take enough pressure off of 17 to make him a threat pressure in this game.
Alright, so I definitely like the Janna pick. That's gonna help EDG a lot. A lot of interruptions with the Q, with the R, and it helps out the AD carry. And it's all about Name. If he gets fed, he'll be even more fed with this Eye of the Storm. Gives him a lot more AD and the shield.
Man, this is... Oh my gosh, we are in for a long game. Farming, farming, farming. It's EDG versus LGD. LGD win this game, and they have a very good shot at the playoffs, but have to see if they can stick in this. We'll be right back after a short break. Game number 2 is coming your way. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL, of course, broadcast here in English on Twitch TV. My name is Rapid, I'm here with Nero, and we're out onto the Rift for game number 2 between LGD and Edward Gaming. Edward coming out with a game 1 loss, primarily to Wayless's just incredibly high farm Orianna and great team play. LGD winning out that first game. A win in game 2 would mean they set themselves in a very good position for the playoffs. I believe if LGD win this game, then if World Elite 2-0 Edward Gaming, which is maybe very unlikely, then they'll stay in the top 4. But if EDG actually loses their games tonight and versus World Elite, then LGD can still get into the playoffs because of the tiebreaker that it was forced with Edwards. So a lot of potential. Starting out with an early game spread, looking like standard lanes across the map.
Yeah, and actually, EDG, they have a nice chance of winning against World Elite easily, since World Elite is not really looking too good on this patch. Xiaomei definitely stopped being the best top laner in the LPL. And Wei Xiao is just focusing around Tristana and getting farmed, and still it isn't enough to carry the game. And LGD, well, they destroyed World Elite. They won one game against EDG, so that would be really interesting. That would be a losers match right there, EDG versus World Elite.
Right. And keep in mind, if EDG actually gets knocked out of the playoffs, if they lose this best of 2 and their best of 2 tomorrow versus World Elite, then they'll actually, then the 4th place team in LPL won't be able to go to regionals because LGD will have qualified for it. But if EDG actually makes it into the playoffs, then the 4th seed from this split will make it into regionals. So, you got to keep in mind, it's not just about winning the split. It's about winning the Chinese regional qualifiers coming up after this to qualify for Worlds.
Yeah, definitely. But still, winning the playoffs also gives you a nice sum of money, so it is a nice reward even if you don't make it to Worlds.
Koro1 is losing out in those trades thanks to the magic damage shield from 17, blocking the damage from things like the Empowered Strike and the Counter Strike from Jax, which is a little bit more effective than traditionally you think, hey, I want armor because Jax is going to beat on me. Well, does a lot of magic damage too, and 17 shield will keep him safe from that.
Yeah, but 17 also got a little bit of exchange damage right after that happened, so
PYL
it's going to be an easy.
Gets knocked up, no death sentence. Come out. And no jungle pressure out there on the map, but Ping's top lane, Chuan is in position. Not going to come over that wall just yet, but he's coming around. Looking for that gank. Should pan up top lane. A lot of pings coming in. And oh no, Koro is in trouble. Flashes the knock up in 17. Only level 2 can't get in for the follow-up.
No, he can't, but still, it definitely, Koro1 loses on the trades, and now he doesn't have flash, so he has to be really extremely careful right now, because 17 can kill him in a 1v1.
Yeah, exactly. 17 has a lot of kill pressure top lane, but keep in mind he's very mana dependent, and he's started to use up a lot of his reserves in that resource, so definitely have to keep that safe and sound. This bottom lane is weird. I'm not used to watching Janna trades, but FCCF is making it look good. PYL continues to walk through the creeps, but just putting pressure on Mei and forcing him back.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for this great hook from PYL that will turn the tide of the game. If it doesn't come, it is going to be EDG winning the bottom lane. If PYL steps up and gets a nice hook, this will be easily LGD's bottom.
Now, Clearlove is in position for a gank down bottom. Not really with the easiest trip through that lane, but can walk into the bottom brushes if he wants to. He has to be careful to see if they've been warded out. Top lane, just aggression everywhere else on the map. AFK farming it out. And I guess I should probably ask you this, Nero, like, which team has the scaling advantage late game? Do we rely on Wayless's farm, or is Jax Ziggs a little bit too strong to let take it to late?
Oh, well, that is a tough question. Actually, if we are talking about just farm, I think that EDG should come out on top. However, LGD, they have a lot of kill potential. So if they get a couple of kills on 17 and Wayless, they're going to come out on top easily. Right? Yeah, definitely Cassidy. He needs to make things happen. That's the same thing as it was for you in the middle lane when he was playing Cassidy. He needs to get things going. He needs to get at least one kill early and then turn the snowball effect on.
Yeah, exactly. And really with as passive and as farm-based as LGD games have tended to be, I'm pretty sure we can expect just, you know, a lot of CSing, a lot less aggression than maybe you would think about for most LPL teams. Jumping on to 17, Koro's just keeping that aggression up, has Clearlove to back him up, but right behind him is Chuen. He came over the Baron wall, and now Clearlove doesn't know what he's missing. Now Chuen's going to walk over that ward. Koro knows what's up. Clearlove immediately going to turn around. There is the counter-strike, a nice knock-up to at least get some extra damage down. Koro is in a lot of trouble, but he's going to be able to escape from the fight. Now 2v1 on to Clearlove, but look at Wayless. He's right there on time. Finds the kill. The flash over the wall. Safeguard away. Clearlove stays alive, but look at Wayless. He's going to command Shockwave underneath the turret. Turns it back around for a 2-0 lead.
Oh, Wayless, that was perfect. He reacted to the fight, and you were still sitting in the middle lane. You still could have got at least one kill with the Mega Inferno Bomb or something. He could have done something, but no, he didn't react. So Yu is now so dedicated to fighting Wayless in the farm that he's not going for the assistance for his team. And just look at Wayless's face. He's so happy right now, looking left and right. And yeah, I'm the best.
Well, he knows he made the right play, whereas you can see he was focused farming, like you said. Oh no, he's got a 10 CS lead. Well, there's a 2 champion lead on Wayless. He said, I'm going to take a break from farming minions to farm champions. And he does it top lane. Spirit of the Spectral Wraith now completed, and you can see Yu is going for the exact same item build, but he's actually going to be behind. That completion of the Spectral Wraith is going to be a big item, power, and gold spike for Wayless that Yu just isn't going to have.
Wayless is going to have this item more quickly, which means that he'll get more of the conservation stacks and more gold. So it's not about them building the same item, it's about who builds it first. The guy gets more money.
And while Wayless may very well be one of, if not the best Orianna in LPL, it's more just like that map presence, that map awareness was just, that's something you would have had on any champion. The presence of mind to both farm your lane very heavily and then be top lane when you're needed for the gank. Because it wasn't even Wayless ganking top. Wayless said, hey, you guys are going for that fight, and immediately started up there, was able to capitalize for the kills. Like, whenever I'm watching roams from mid lane, the best kind of roams are the ones where you just are like, wow, where did that champion even come from? How is he there on time? Because that means that he thought about it before anyone else. Now down in the bottom lane, TP coming in. Name is in a terrible position. 17's level 6, gonna Rift Walk on in. Janna Shield comes out and barely saves Name. Incredible survival. FCZF keeping her carry alive.
A little bit unfortunate for LGD, but still every single fight is a little bit unfortunate for LGD. Just look at that. Wayless wouldn't even have to come top lane if not Clearlove barely making it in to save Koro1, because Koro1 could leap strike to him.
Now Dragon's gonna go down here to LGD. Mega Inferno Bomb catches onto 2, but not too much damage to come out there. Everybody recalling for LGD anyway. So that is the first Dragon of the game. No turrets taken down just yet, but LGD are looking incredibly strong. Last game, they gave up both Dragons early on. This game, they're taking them down and have the CS lead as well.
Well, now they have the confidence that actually EDG is the top team in China, one of the top teams in China. So maybe LGD was not really committed to the dragons and actually to getting everything so quickly early on in the previous game, because they were kind of afraid that EDG can win, that they can come out on top of the mistakes that LGD make. Now that LGD know that they can come out on top of EDG's mistake, it's easy. They are just gonna go for the early pressure, early aggression, dragons, towers. They are gonna get in just a couple of seconds.
Now, Yu has picked up a Spirit of the Spectral Wraith of his own, but in somewhat of a weird sort of stylistic difference between LPL and other regions around the world, both AD carries have actually started with a Brutalizer as their first item, going for much more of a caster-style build than anything more attack speed based like you'd expect from traditional AD carries, or even just picking up a BF sword first. Brutalizer giving you a little bit more combat stats with that CDR coming in for both Graves and Lucian. And Graves has been XQ's answer to Lucian in both of these games, and it's been making it work out very well. Now, is maybe a little bit of aggression coming in. Pink ward goes down. Now PYL and XQ, they'll scan for this one, but the Lantern comes out for Clear Love just to check for it. Box comes out, PYL is in a lot of trouble, but look at that ult from FCZF, just seals PYL's fate. Taking him down. Senna is avenged down there. Koro getting dunked on. He's just gonna flash away.
Yeah, and that is just the Janna. You flash in to get a nice ult and position the enemies however you want them to be. And Name even going for a little bit
Clear Love
of
coming in for the Dragon's Rage. Kicks him through the turret, but is that actually enough? He's gonna dash back through. Pops the buckshot. Look at that damage on Aname! And XQ outplays the dive. He finds the kill on Aname. Now actually Jen is taking up the turret. One more auto attack. He finds the double kill. Where's the triple? Clear Love in a horrible position. And once again, Wayless on the roam. Comes down, takes him out. And it's still there to farm the double golems. Like, Wayless everywhere. He needs to be an XQ with an incredible outplay. Trades 2 for 1. Winds up trading away 3 for 1 in the end once Wayless comes in for the cleanup.
Oh wow, EDG is finally looking to make the plays, and it's too late. Like, they are so desperate and so dedicated to making the plays that they make them wrong, and they lose a lot of kills. And Wayless, once again, as you said, he's on the roam. He gets the last kill from there. But XQ, this is the Graves. It's the burst that everyone should expect from a Graves.
XQ saw going, do that same thing top lane with Shivani. He's like, you guys think top laners can do it? Chill out, guys. I got this. he like turns to PYL and's like, hold my drink. He's just like goes nuts underneath the turret. Incredible turnaround there. XQ is the truth. This guy is legit. Bottom lane, he's going to push that one in, 2v2. And now he comes back to lane, and I didn't actually see what he bought, so once the items pop back up on our screen, we'll be able to check that one out. Comes back with a pickaxe, so he's right on par with items, but he has a little bit more gold to spend when he heads back, and the advantage of a Doran's blade up on Name. Play backwards in there. Death Sentence to follow up immediate ignited. XQ just blows Name apart. FCZF doesn't know which way's up. He's like, where'd my carry go? Magic Magician XQ made him disappear. Teleport down to the bottom lane. Koro 1 will get the stun on PYL, but immediate peel and the dunk down. XQ's got the kick to the other side of the Cataclysm. Clear Love might be able to find the kill and is actually, is going to be able to take him down. Nice kick in there. Clear Love now looking for a kill onto Chuen. Chasing him down underneath the turret. They dodge away from that. Clear Love is not going to have a repeat performance. He knows what happens underneath that bottom turret. He will get out alive. 2 for 1. Favor of EDG.
Finally, EDG finds something that gives him an advantage, but still, XQ. Wow, he's just playing so well. And actually, I just wanted to say that PYL, he gets the Thresh, and he sometimes has a day that he's not playing this Thresh as godlike as he usually plays him. So there's XQ. He doesn't care that his support is underperforming by a little bit. Now XQ
he's like,
takes
chill out.
thing into his hands.
Exactly, I got this. Big play right there was Koro. Great map awareness and usage of the teleport to get behind XQ and PYL and help his team secure that kill. But an attempt at the Mad Life by PYL misses. But so Koro TP bottom, great effectiveness there, but what he did was he took all that pressure off of 17 in the top lane, let him take down that first turret of the game for LGD, and he caught right back up in CS, so 17 is right back in this game exactly where he wants to be. Flash in, the Death Sentence barely misses. PYL trying for the big plays. Big plays, but misses him. Now Wayless is going for a blue buff steal, gets the steal on the blue buff, and he's gonna come behind the turret with Chuen. FCZF, Name, they're in a horrible spot right now. Wayless throws the ball up there. Needs one more, but oh, the Monsoon from Janna. Saves their lives, but is going to lose the life of this bottom lane turret.
Yeah, the Monsoon is a really annoying skill. That pretty much every single time it's used, it prevents you from getting a kill or outplays you completely. But still, LGD, they don't really need every single kill that they can get because they do have a big advantage. And the dragon is coming, and they will get it easily.
Oh, Koro might be dead here. 17's going in for the kill. He needs one more Q, one more auto attack, and gets it. 17 dodges the counter strike, goes back in for the retrade, and picks up the 1v1 kill onto Koro.
Yeah, and LGD will now take down the dragon, and the gold lead is just extending further and further. And it's only 15th minute in the game, and we have 3k gold lead.
Second dragon of the game for LGD.
Oh, wow.
A complete turnaround from game one. And try as he might, you just can't keep his CS up there. Down about 10 to 20 at all times versus Wayless. Even with Wayless, his incredible roam on the map. Wayless is just having one of the best games of his life here against one of the best teams in LPL. Edward Gaming, a little bit of a downturn. And LGD, like we said, fighting for their spot in the playoffs and doing their very best.
Just what I wanted to point out. Like, Wayless is still on top in CS, even though he roamed top, but he's just incredible. 3-0 and having more farm than his enemy.
But you cannot count out a farming Ziggs. Ziggs still with 180 CS at 16 minutes. That is nothing to scoff at. And the big thing about both Orianna and Ziggs, they have so much wave clear that it makes it very difficult to farm out games. Now, not sure why he dropped the Cataclysm there, an avoidance of that stun. Twin is going to die here, but can 17 turn this one around? Koro very, very low. All we need is one more Rift Walk. PYL is coming in here, and alright, Koro is pretty dead right now. One more auto attack, and it is 17 able to pick up the kill on Koro once again. Wayless trying to micro, runs away from 3 people and chunks them enough so that they stop the chase. Like, I don't know. Wayless, what can... He's like, don't stop me now. What's going to stop him? Wayless just AFK farming. He's got 3 kills because he hasn't been AFK. He's been farming and picking up kills. Like, I don't know what to say. This guy's the truth.
He's been farming everything that comes, right? Under his nose.
Monsters, champions. If there's something in front of him that gives him gold, that's right. It's his. LGD. They're taking jungle camps, they're taking turrets, they're taking objectives. I just can't say enough good things about this team.
As you said, there's not much that can stop them at this point. And there is the hyper scaling Jax, which is sitting at 1 and 4.
It's true. And it's 1 and 4 off of 2 1v1 losses to 17. Like, 17 has 2 kills, and both of those are 1v1 pickups. So, just incredible. Okay, no, one of them's 1v1, the other's 1v2 off of a gank, but he has 2 assists as well. A lot of pressure being put on Koro just to get 17 back ahead. And he's going for this tanky Kassadin with, like, the Rod of Ages into Iceborne Gauntlets, just to make sure he's sticky, he's tanky, and he's going to be able to 1v1 Koro.
Yeah, and even Name is not really doing too well. He died 2 times already. He's up in farm by about 10 CS, but it still is not too much. It's still not giving him enough to carry the game for EDG and LGD. Are they really looking for this Baron?
Nice tidal wave. No, the engage over the wall onto Clear Love. The weirdest depositioners I've ever seen. Schwen gets blown up. PYL's in a horrible position in the box. And that was pretty bad for LGD. They screwed that all up, and honestly, that is mostly FZZF that monstered up that play. As soon as PYL and Schwen wanted to come over the wall, he immediately used the Monsoon that PYL was forced to pull himself all the way to the back. Monsoon doesn't break the thresh hook. It still allows you to pull yourself all the way. So PYL got way out in front and got isolated, so he just got taken out. Schwen, once again, was separated over the wall and got poked down and taken out there as well. And the rest of LGD were left in the Baron pit, unable to follow, so big play there. FCZF, man of the hour with the Medjai's Soul Stealer in his inventory.
Oh, the most important
shockwave onto Koro, and Wayless just one-shots him with the auto attack, the follow-up. Oh my gosh, that guy, too much damage. 4-0 0-0.
However, talking about LGD, okay, this might have been a good engage. However, there was no Wayless to deal the damage. He doesn't have any dash, any flash, any blink, anything to jump over the wall and deal the damage. It was just LGD without Wayless, and Wayless is just so massive.
Let's run away from the guy that's got 230 CS at 19 minutes. Like, probably a strategy you might want to rethink a little bit. LGD need to just stay together. Take this one slow. Big aggressive plays like that work, but they only work if you're able to stay together as a team. LGD kind of got split up around the Baron wall.
Man, that was a weird play from LGD. I didn't believe that they want to go for this Baron. Of course they were baiting, but that was not the bait that you want to go for.
It's kind of interesting to see the dynamic nature of like who's carrying, who's doing well. For LGD, PYL, he put up an MVP performance yesterday or last weekend. But this game, he's actually having a little bit of a rough spot. 1-3-2 is definitely not one of his better scores, not an MVP score at all. But FCZF, he is just outstanding this game. His Sona, or his Janna rather, 2-1-4 with a Medjai's Soul Stealer. He's already got the stacks coming his way, so FCZF is doing really, really well. But now LGD, they're starting up the Baron. It's down to half health. With Orianna shields, they can actually tank that Baron up for a surprisingly long amount of time. Flash hook misses from PYL, but it forces out that flash. Teleport's coming in from Koro1. Baron Nashor actually goes over to EDG. They take down the Baron, but Clear Love is too strong. Now Chwen's going to die there in the back line. He goes down 17, but Edward Gaming, they're chasing out. XQ takes the biggest lantern of his life, but Yu's got the follow-up and takes him down. The Thresh Express is not fast enough to outrun the bombs, and it's a 1-for-3 and a Baron buff for Edward Gaming. Clear Love came in the clutch.
Very impressive steal from him, but it's not the first time that he pulls it off. It's EDG, it's Clear Love. He is around in LPL for so long, and he's one of the better junglers in here. And well, Chuan didn't step up this play, and Wayless, he went down pretty quickly in the fight, so LGD have nothing to do.
Lord Baron Nashor giveth and taketh away. I've seen so many games begin and end at Baron, and now we're going to get a replay here. Now watch Clear Love. He knows it's going down low, over the walls, gets the smite, just impeccable timing, and he just safeguards right back out alive, like no questions asked. But now this is where things get a little bit dicey. Koro1 is way in the back, and sure, he gets blown apart by XQ, but he's already done his job. He took out Orianna and just kept her from ever being anything in the fight. Yu right here throws the bomb, predicts the movement, grabs the kill, and look at LPL Cake Fan right there. This guy's pretty pumped.
Yeah, and seeing EDG actually finally doing something well is definitely a good thing for the Chinese scene. Since they were supposed to be the super team, the team made up the superstars, and they're losing so much lately. Something needs to click in the team for them to finally be the big EDG that is going to go to the Worlds, that was supposed to actually go to the Worlds, because that is slipping away from their hands.
Yeah, if you had asked people about 4 or 5 weeks ago, what are your top 3 teams for World coming out of China, they would have said easily, almost unanimously, World Elite, EDG, and OMG. Starhorde at that point was a distant 4th place, wasn't having very good games. Insec was looking spotty, but now things are drastically changing. World Elite and Edward Gaming are actually not looking all that strong, whereas teams like
Starhorn,
yeah, like Starhorn,
LGD,
all the way up at the top. LGD, they're monstering it up. They've won 6 of their last 6 games, so it's just incredible to see some of these teams kicking in the clutch.
Oh yeah, definitely. And LGD is still in kind of a lead. They do have the lead in kills, but they lost a little bit of turrets and the Barons, so they're not in the lead in the gold anymore. However, there still is this XQ with some great items.
And look at Wayless. Okay, so XQ, that's kind of a weird item build. He went Infinity Edge instead of, well, I guess that is the BF sword item you'd want, but so XQ is pretty farmed. He's got I guess he's a little bit farther behind when you compare him to Wayless, who has Death Cap, Chalice. He's almost to Void Staff. Once he goes back, you can see him recalling right now. Promise you, he's selling that Doran's Ring and buying a Void Staff. Oh no, he actually sold the Pink Ward, and now, where's the Void Staff? Okay, he only had enough for Blasting Watt. It's a little bit off on my gold predictions, but 4-1-1 with almost 300 CS at 25 minutes.
Yeah, definitely doing better than you. However, you didn't go down throughout the whole game, so it's not like you got shut down in the lane.
PYL Mega Inferno Bomb didn't take him out. That was very, very close. And after getting chunked out, after going aggressive for the hooks, Edward Gaming will take down their second tier turret of the game. They're now up 5-3 in turrets and might be turning this around.
Yeah, and it is a best of 2, so it will end up in a tie if EDG take this game. Actually, I didn't feel that best of 2 is so really interesting in here, because I want to see the third game right here, LGD versus EDG. This is looking so back and forth that I'm not satisfied with the best of 2.
Yeah, me neither. I want to see this go like all the way. That's why when we come to regionals, to playoffs, 17 in between a Jax and a Clear Love, flashing over the wall after the Rift Walk, runs right into Name, throws the rest of the damage out, but the rest of LGD are right there. Koro's gonna get a nice stun and blows apart XQ. Koro's too strong, but look at Wayless, he's coming into the backline. Can he take out Koro? Yu's got some damage to trade back in, and LGD are losing this fight. They have to run away. They lose their dual lane, and no matter how much damage Wayless does, Koro's actually too tanky for him to deal with. The teleport from behind, looking for the flank. Koro with a ward jump over the wall, just a cute little help. Still trying to get the flank here onto Wayless. Wayless in 17. They blow up FCZF. Can they find the kill there? The summoner heal's not enough. And LGD actually surprise attack out from behind. Wayless, Mega Inferno Bomb. Look at this kiting. He dodges away from the stun. Koro finds the kill onto 17. But can Wayless survive this? Koro is very, very low. Wayless needs this outplay. He has a ton of damage to give out here. Wants to watch out for Clear Love. Turns the damage right back around. Tries to get these auto attacks. He dodges it away. And with the ball coming out, he can't kill off Clear Love, but too much damage. He's dodging away from absolutely everything. Shields himself. He's got the distortion. Last auto attack. Wayless is a god. Almost takes down. Yes, Wayless in that top lane is the truth. Clear Love can't believe it. Death Sentence misses you there on the follow-up. The flash on Koro can't find him. XQ. Bonus flash, but can't find that kill there. Wayless's kiting is absolutely godlike. This guy is not giving up without a fight.
However, that was really unfortunate that XQ went down at the very beginning of the fight, because LGD, they lose the damage output way too early in the fights. In the Baron fight, Wayless was the first one to go down. This time around, it was XQ, so they need both of their carries to actually win a fight. And the positioning is not the best lately for LGD. They got a little bit too overconfident.
I had to grab some honey, reduce my voice back down to its devastatingly manly tones, because Wayless just about making me hit a second puberty there. This guy is ridiculous. I love watching these games, and while LGD, a lot of people are like LGD, IG, they're those teams that are always in the bottom 4 because they're just not quite good enough to break into major leagues, the top 4, first, second, third place. But LGD, man, when it counts here at the end of the season, they're posting up some huge numbers. Now, a big problem for LGD in both of their last team fights has been Koro, who's been able to counter-strike in back behind the enemy lines, stun out and actually almost one-shot XQ there previously. And now Koro is so tanky with a Frozen Heart, Ninja Tabi, Banshee's Veil. They're not going to be able to focus him down, especially with Counter-Strike on. So, big question that LGD need an answer for.
Oh, definitely. And now EDG are coming out on top in gold quite massively at 6k difference. And it was LGD who had 4k lead just a couple minutes ago. It's a huge swing.
AD carries kind of on opposite sides of the world. There's Name is all the way down bottom, and XQ's been kind of switching around between mid and now looking maybe towards top lane. Good ward coverage from both teams, though, although slightly better from Edward Gaming's. Their deep wards are now starting to die off in the LGD jungle. So for the time being, LGD, they've got things lit up around the mid lane. They can see what's going on there, and they'll be very safe as they secure for themselves their jungle camps and their buffs. And now look to at least clear things out around the Baron area, setting up for Baron number 2.
Oh yeah, Baron, as he said, he's the lord of the LPL games. He either gives the win or takes it away.
Well, he tried to take it away from LGD there, but Wayless would not have it. And in the ensuing team fight, Micred his heart off, and more importantly, stalled EDG from pushing further objectives. That was the big thing. EDG, like, it doesn't matter if you win a fight if you don't do anything off of it. I mean, sure, if you win fight after fight, then sooner or later you're just too strong, but missing out on that time was crucial. EDG weren't able to do anything off of it. Now they will get a beautiful opportunity to clear this wave ward coverage out from around Baron. But what will they opt to do? Do they bait the Baron, or they try to protect their base?
No, the fights I think will still be quite even. So EDG, they want to take the Baron by a surprise if it's possible, and maybe get a pick. But
I think LGD are going to back off and push their bottom lane wave because they recognize that maybe it's a little bit too far pushing in, but it actually should turn around. Now, Wayless is way out of position. Oh, this might be very, very bad from LGD. EDG might start this Baron buff, but instead they're baiting it out there. They have you over the wall, and Wayless does get the opportunity to steal the blue buff away before he comes. And with the standard over there from Jarvan, EDG are fully scouted out. Oh, Chuen could be a little bit out of position. PYL is in there. Koro's going to make a move there. Chuen is caught. He takes the lantern out. He is slowed out there a little bit by Janet, but he will be able to stand his way. But in the mid lane, LGD has already been pushing down that turret. The second tier mid turret will go down. PYL is going to drop the box and XQ and Wayless. There's nobody on the back line. Immediate jump stun in there. XQ is going to get destroyed in the back there. Wayless kiting backwards. The Frost Queen's claiming on the PYL. He is going to go down. He hits a death sentence, but EDG might have found the team fight win that they were looking for. Barring an incredible turnaround here from LGD, Edward Gaming took out the duo lane, and now they're on to Baron.
Yeah, even though LGD do have this Cassidy and Orianna alive, I don't think that they can try to contest for it. But look at 17, he was trying to push the top lane, doesn't get the turn.
Oh, but look at Wayless, he wants to try to outplay this Baron attempt. Oh my gosh, FCCF! He loses almost all of his HP. Wayless still very, very alive, but not unless Koro can have something to find out about this. He will go down, so will 17.
And burst onto FZZF.
FZZF almost got one shot. Holy cow, but just that one auto attack difference couldn't take him down. And now, Edward Gaming, with their second Baron buff of the game, could look to finish.
Yeah, but it's just FZZF. If you look at Krylov, if you look at Koro, all of them have a lot of magic resist, and Wayless is just helpless against them.
Have to be very, very careful. Name jumps in there. XQ, can he stay alive? He finds the ultimate. Clearlove's going to go down there, but it's actually 4 dead, and, well, Wayless and F17 just aren't alive in time. XQ just cannot kite enough, and he's not really an immobile AD carry. He's just can't stay alive, especially in that 2 versus 4 exchange. 17 now has to defend these base turrets. 17, and now Wayless respawning. 17 gets back to the base in time. Can Wayless defend 1 versus the world? Mega Inferno Bomb snipes him down, and this is gonna be game. Edward Gaming find the picks when it counts, and we'll split 1-1 versus LGD.
Oh, and LGD were so close to winning that game, but Baron once again turning the games around in LPL, and it's been a long time since we've seen him do this the last time. So a very nice play by EDG. Actually, Krylov, he steps up, because that's the thing. Krylov, sometimes he underperforms, and then EDG is not really doing too well, but sometimes Krylov is just a beast.
Yeah, you can see LGD really taking that game loss hard, really focused, even when Edward Gaming came over to shake their hands. They didn't see it coming. But once again, a 1-1 split in our last game of the night. And this is setting up for our last day of LPL. If you've enjoyed the games this season, then make sure to tune in tomorrow as OMG take on Young Glory, and Edward Gaming will face off against World Elite in a match that will decide a lot for LGD. So make sure to tune it right back in, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, and of course 1600 China time as well. This has been the English broadcast of LPL here on Twitch TV. I am Rapid. I've been here with Nero. Of course, this is brought to you in part by our friends at Esports Heaven and Games in Asia. Make sure to tune in tomorrow as Frostcurrent and Pyrotechnics will be taking you guys out of this season. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.
Let's just go for the Karthus.
The Spirit of the Special Wraith Karthus mid, man, that would be impressive to watch, especially since it would both test his ability to farm, put pressure out on the map with his ultimate, and keep his own turret alive. Like, that takes a lot of complicated lane mechanics to make work, and, well, Wayless had it down pat in game number 1, so coming into picks and bans here for game number 2 up here in just a second. I can't expect that we'll see too much different from around the map, but should center a lot of picks around like jungle and mid lane to try to make something work better for EDG.
Alright, so we're still waiting to get into the picks and bans, and actually it's quite okay. They're figuring out all the issues right now. We won't have pauses in the next game, hopefully, because these kind of stop the game at some point.
Traditionally, at least before Edward Gaming, like they used to rely on Koro. Like Koro would be kind of hit or miss sometimes. He would start off strong, but then maybe have some decision-making errors. But especially versus 17, maybe not necessarily in lane, but in team fights, Koro can have more of a presence, and so you can look for 17 to come back with that. But really, it was all team. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL, of course, broadcast here in English on Twitch TV. My name is Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and you can see on your screen the breakdown of game number 1, and who better picked for the MVP than Wayless, the mid laner for LGD. 3-0-10, but with almost 500 gold per minute, that guy was making bank, and he put it to use, helping the rest of his team win game number 1 and keep their playoff hopes alive.
Oh yeah, and it's not a secret that he's going for this Orianna, just counting on farm, just going for the spirit of the Spectral Wraith. So what do EDG do now? Do they ban this Orianna? Do they want to pick it themselves? Well, Wayless, you cannot really stop him. He's just going to go for Zed. For I don't think that LeBlanc anymore, but he has a lot of champions up his sleeve.
All right, now coming in back to the casters, they predicted 2-0s. For LGD versus Edward Gaming, and I think they knew what they had in store. Big performance from Wayless, and I almost want to say don't ban the Orianna versus him, just put some pressure on mid. That game number 1 had 0 pressure mid, and Wayless just took advantage, fighting all the time for EDG or for LGD, and 17 looked fine. So coming in here to champion picks and bans for game number 2, LGD. They win this game, their playoff hopes are very, very likely. And if they lose, then, well, it's all but over for them. I think they still have a shot at making it, but it would be very, very long shots. So definitely looking to win this and make their way down the home stretch. Bans coming out will include 17's Kale. So a lot of respect there from Edward Gaming. Not going to let him have it this time around.
Yeah, and actually talking about Koro, he was doing really well in the team fights, but still, LGD was just stronger. They got a lot more farm early on. They got a little bit of kills, a little bit of towers, and that was it. So yeah, they go for the Kale ban right here. Wow. Yeah, gotta be really careful. Like, Chuan can go for his Lee Sin.
And big bans on the top laners as well, as both Maokai and Alistar have been banned away. This should send 17 onto something maybe like a Jax, but We'll see what they decide to pick up. And you can't forget about PYL. He set his MVP performance on LGD last week with a Thresh game, and he'll grab it away for himself. Advantage of it. Farmed his Storm up and put that gold to use, like I said earlier. So coming into game number 2, other than Wayless, I don't think EDG's team comp looked very bad. They had decent champion picks, and they were able to turn around a couple fights. They just lost it out when it comes to the AoE team fighting. 100% kill participation for Wayless's Orianna. Very impressive to see the team fight stick together, winning LGD game number 1.
Yeah, and actually the game wasn't perfect from any of the teams, because I still have this early game in my mind when LGD could have easily taken the first dragon of the game, but they just gave it away to EDG. They could have easily ended this game a lot earlier if they didn't make the early mistakes.
Yeah,
so
they gave 2 early dragons away to LGD, but I think that was mostly just recognizing, hey guys, we're playing for these 2 power spikes to win us the game, and they weren't willing to throw the game away by fighting when they weren't they weren't in position to. So sometimes it's not about having a perfect game, but it's about executing your game plan and making it count when you have to, and they definitely did that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that Yu needs to step up his play. He had a very good champion, but he didn't really execute it too well. Wasn't roaming around. Why do you not roam when you're playing a Kassadin?
Well, the timings were just completely different. For LGD, they wanted to hit these 2 big timings off of item power spikes from 17 and from Wayless, particularly Wayless. And every time Wayless would complete a new item, it'd be way far ahead of, oh, no pun intended there, of you. And it just makes sense. You have more items, you deal more damage, you win more fights, and that's exactly what LGD did. And they really caught you out of position because he is playing a mid to late game champion on Kassadin, who, like you said, wants to roam, but LGD were together all the time. Really not a lot of roam opportunities there.
Oh yeah, and well, if EDG want to switch up the bans phase right now, I think that they can let LGD pick up some champions that they don't really want to give them away. Like Maokai, who do you leave open if you want to ban this Orianna, for example? That is really scary for EDG at the moment.
And if you don't ban his Orianna, he's just going to pick another farm champion. He'll grab Ziggs in the mid lane, or...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, who's another good farm champion mid? It used to be stuff like
Karthus.
Oh my gosh.
Go for the Frog and Karthus if you want to get a world record in CS, if you're